events. We do, as many of you guys know, TRU is the Detroit region's public transit advocate. We have been working for the last 15 years on ways to improve and coordinate, improve and promote transit throughout the region. We look at ways to educate the region about how important transit is, to engage the public in key decisions, and to advocate directly to the decision makers to make sure that we have the best possible public transit system. And as was noted, we do it through the help of a lot of different partner organizations and volunteers. I want to spend a few minutes talking about some of the things that TRU has been is focused on at this point in time. About 4 times a year we hold one of these meetings, a quarterly meeting, to let folks know what are the major transit issues, but then also what else is going on. This one is going to focus specifically on existing bus service, but, yeah, that's who TRU is. And here's our program. I hope you all feel very welcomed. And then we'll get to our discussion. There will be plenty of time for questions and answers. And see, Kelly, you didn't know you had a whole slide presentation to advance. So talking about what TRU is up to, I want to take a minute to highlight another excellent event that is coming up and make sure everyone knows about it and feels very welcome because it's going to be an exciting event. On Thursday, May 8th at the Hotel St. Regis, just about 2 miles up the road, we are going to hold the 3rd Annual Regional Transit Awards Dinner. There are so many different people across this region that are working hard to improve transit, whether it's bus drivers or citizen activists, whether it's elected leaders or politicians, whether it's community organizations or entrepreneurs. There are so many different people that are doing great work that often don't get recognized. That's why we've decided to hold this annual Transit Awards. So, and of course it also is a great opportunity to have a fundraiser to raise the money that allows TRU to do our advocacy and education and engagement all year long. So it's both a way to celebrate the great work happening throughout the region far beyond TRU's work, but then also to enable our work moving forward. And I want to note some of the, I'm not going to read these all off for you, but I want to note some of the incredible people that we have been nominated for awards. We have 6 different categories of awards, including exemplary innovation, and I will note that Michael Ford of the Ride is here and will be speaking to you about the great work. But whether it's innovative ideas for how to improve public engagement, improve transit, whether it's the transit employees, the actual people working day in, day out to provide the service, whether it's the public servants, the elected officials, the appointed officials who are doing the big level policy work, whether it's the unsung heroes, another one of our, whether it's the unsung heroes who are doing the behind the scenes things that people don't always recognize, don't always see, but are still essential nonetheless, as well as our corporate transit champions, the people from the business community that are fully engaged and invested, as well as a brand new category this year of our breakthrough transit champions, the young people, whether it's transit staff or communications bloggers, other people. These are all excellent people who have all been nominated for these awards, and at the event on May 8th, we're not only going to use it as a chance to celebrate all of these incredible people and the work they've done, but we'll also, we have an independent panel of judges that will be selecting one winner out of each of these categories to get the award. So please come on out and join us to get that, see who gets that beautiful plaque there.
It's a long ride.
And there are a couple of ways that we want to help you, want you to help us make this event great. One is, please buy your tickets. It is a $75 a person dinner, with $35 of that going as a donation to TRU, in addition to, of course, dinner and a family silent auction and all of those good things. So we do have RSVP cards at the back. You can sign up right now tonight, or you can go online. We also challenge each of you to consider being a captain. Recruit 7 of your dearest friends or neighbors or colleagues or coworkers to come out to the event as well. And I will note we have just a couple more days left to receive sponsorships and silent auction donations. It's a great way to not only promote your business or your organization, but of course support transit advocacy as well. So definitely see me if you have any questions about that. Megan Costi, yeah, in the middle there is our fundraiser event chair. So you can also see her with any questions. So it's going to be a really fun event, and I hope all of you can be there. Another major priority of TRU's at this point is the Smart Village campaign. As you guys will hear in a little bit, SMART provides essential service, 35,000 people a day, but they do not have the revenue. Revenue has been going down. If there is not new funding, service won't continue as we know it 2 years from now. They also have an old fleet of buses that need replaced. So the county commissions, hello? Okay. In Wayne, Oakland, and Macomb counties, the county leaders will be deciding in the next 3 weeks, next 2 weeks it sounds like, as to whether to put this on the ballot and at what level they should put on the ballot funding for continued SMART service. So we have sheets at the back, a nice bright yellow sheet if you don't have it yet, that talks a little bit about why this is so important, and also we want to encourage everyone to take a moment to call your county commissioners, tell your county leaders just why this is so essential that this be on the ballot. So that's another one of our priorities of things that are happening right now. And over the next few weeks, or next few months, I should say, assuming SMART is able to get that on the ballot, there are lots of opportunities for you there will be lots of opportunities this summer for you to help educate voters across the region about why this is so important that they vote yes. So let us know if you're able to come out and speak at or help us at fairs and festivals, online, on social media, etc., to get the word out to make sure people vote yes in August. But even sooner than that, May 6th, our friends at the Ride in Ann Arbor and Ypsi Township on May 8th have a, May 6th, oops, I'm so used to writing May 8th, you're right. May 6th, don't vote in Ann Arbor on May 8th, that's not going to help. May 6th, only if you were thinking about voting no. Vote yes, May 6th. And they've got a very detailed plan of ways that they can really improve, expand, and grow their service all throughout the region. You can get a ton more information. You can, even if you don't live in the area and can't vote there, you can donate money, you can volunteer, they're knocking on doors, they're engaging the community in lots of different ways and need lots of help. So you can help improve transit first in the Ann Arbor Ypsi area. Get lots more information at morebuses.org, or I believe there's also some information in the back. So 2 very important opportunities to make sure that transit has the funding it needs. I want to take just a moment before I wrap up to give a quick update, just to let folks know RTA hasn't been getting a whole lot of attention in the news, but there are important things moving forward. There has, as many folks know, been a decision they're not putting funding on the ballot in 2014. Partially because of this, the 2 efforts going on in Ann Arbor and with SMART, and partially because there's just a lot to do before you put a major funding measure on the ballot. So the Regional Transit Authority Board has decided they will be looking at November 2016 for a funding vote, but that doesn't mean they're going to be sitting on their thumbs for the next 2 years. There's a lot going on. They are still accepting applications for a new CEO. They need to get a high quality, experienced staff in, both a CEO but a full staff that can start moving forward with some of the opportunities to improve. The Citizens Advisory Committee, 50 extraordinary people led by our very own Brian Sadak. You want to wave to everybody? He is the newly appointed chair of the Citizens Advisory Committee. I'm honored to join him as the vice chair, and we're going to work on ways to provide recommendations to from the Citizens Advisory Committee to the RTA board so they can identify the best ways that to improve transit in this region. So that group has finally started meeting, and we've got some 50 enthusiastic people ready to jump in and get involved. The RTA did put together its first report. One of the legislation requirements is to provide a report to the legislature every year about what are they doing? What are they doing to improve service? What are they doing to improve coordination? What success has happened? And they did make that first report to the legislature. And if you go to semcog.org/RTA, I believe it is, you can see that report and get more information about what they've accomplished. And they're starting to make plans for how to develop rapid transit, not only on Woodward, which has been talked about for years, but also on Gratiot, on Michigan Avenue. They're going to start the planning process there, start discussing what are the best ways to provide real high quality rapid transit along those two essential corridors. So yes, it's a slower process than any of us want it to be, but there is real progress going on, and Jim Fetzer's going to talk in just a minute about the Providers Advisory Committee, which has actually been doing the most work and has been doing great things on transit coordination among the providers. So I did want to take just 2 minutes to talk about the RTA because it is certainly one of the biggest things happening on transit these days. Lastly, I want to introduce you to a brand new coalition that TRU is proud to be a part of leading and putting together. Over the next 2 years, before the entire four-county region is asked to vote on public transit funding, on making a major new investment in expanding and improving transit, there's a lot of education that needs to be done. There's a lot of people in this region. It's hard for us many of us who think about this all the time, to realize, I would say 90% of this region never thinks about transit. It doesn't even cross their mind. So before we ask them to tax themselves to invest in more and better public transit, we need to do a lot to educate them and to help people understand why transit matters, what are the values it provides, why would someone who doesn't expect to actually get on a bus or train, why would they want to make an investment in transit? We're going to take the next 2.5 years to make sure that people understand that. So we've got, these are a couple of the organizations that have been working thus far, the Chamber, the Suburbs Alliance, Ecology Center, Moses, Freshwater Transit. We've been putting together the framework of what we hope to be a much broader and more dynamic organization. I sort of think about it as 1,000 Friends of Transit. We want to identify 1,000 different organizations and businesses and institutions who realize that transit is worth investing in and who want to lend their name to recognizing the importance of transit and hopefully educate their friends, their networks, their members, their constituents, their friends about the value of transit. So why should, well, I don't want to get too far, but this is a brand new thing. We're just putting it together, but I want each of you to think for a moment, what organizations do you know of? What organizations are you members of? What businesses do you frequent that you think or care about transit and may want to get involved? And so I've got a sheet in the back that you can fill out. You can write your name and number and what business or organization you're willing to reach out to. I'll contact you, send you more information, and we can see about getting your neighborhood association, your church, your business, or others to sign on and say, yes, we believe transit is worth investing in, and yes, we want to help make it successful. We want you to get involved. So, TRU wouldn't be true if we didn't have things that we want to ask you to do. There are ways that you can help. Tell your county commissioner to put smart funding on the ballot. Tell us what groups, what businesses You'll help recruit to this new Connect for Prosperity Coalition. And you're going to learn a lot tonight over the next 90 minutes, next 75 minutes about what's going on with transit. But don't keep that to yourself. We want you to share that knowledge, share that information. So think now about who else might need to hear about this. Who can you share this information with? And at the end of the meeting, we'll get back to these actions. So, all right. So, again, we have an excellent panel who will be speaking in just a few minutes to tell you what their transit agency is doing to improve transit service and how they're seeking to work better together to improve the transit experience for all of us. I imagine you have some questions. I imagine you have some things you want to know about transit service. So please, if you don't have one yet, get a card. I'll pass them out in just a sec. And if you fill out the card, write your question down, and we'll collect those. We can collect them right now. Mike Wims, our volunteer extraordinaire, can collect any cards that you've already filled out with your questions. We'll also collect them again at the end of the presentations in order to facilitate the question and answer time. So think about your questions, write them down, bring them up. And at this point, I would like to introduce to you TRU's Assistant Director Extraordinaire, who Ruth Johnson not only coordinates most of TRU's work involving DDOT